Holy moly. Well, this whole terminus slash basis thing just took another turn on me. Uh, yeah, as I grow and into go into more galaxies, and then I discover new supply depots in those new galaxies when I set up my anchor bases, and I've been going because of the limitations with Terminus and how many your bases you're allowed to have before they won't list them anymore. I was deleting the duplicates. Like if I go to a new galaxy and I establish my anchor base, my one base in that galaxy that I can travel to through the terminus, and it happens to have set up a cobalt supply depot, and I already have a cobalt supply depot in Euclid. I delete that one, right? I mean, it made sense because we can only have a limited number of why would I have two, right? When I have to have an anchor base. I have to have one base in every galaxy so that I can travel to that galaxy. So, since I know there's a limited number of bases I'm allowed to have in Terminus, it seems natural, right, that you would delete the one in Euclid that you really don't need, and when it comes right down to it, you only technically need one base in every single galaxy, a portal base, a base at the portal, and then you use portal technically to be as efficient as possible because of the limited number of bases that you're allowed in the terminus. That would be the perfect scenario: is to have one base in each galaxy, and then use portal travel to travel to other locations in that galaxy. But that's really not reality, I mean, because you have to have more resources than that, and supply depots is kind of the way to go for resources. So, in order to have them, you have to have bases. I mean, I guess you could just go and harvest your resources from deposits on the surface, and that would be kind of a pain. Anyway, um, ideally, I guess you would just have one base in each galaxy, and you would have throughout all the different galaxies, you would have all your resources that you would need, and you wouldn't have to have a bunch of bases in one galaxy. But since I make the cake, you know, that's a little bit of a different deal. But that gets off into a whole nother tangent here that I really didn't want to cover. I'm talking about bases, right? So I deleted some bases a few weeks ago, because I started discovering galaxies. I'm currently in. Let me look at my notes. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine. I think 10 different galaxies now. Anyway, so I have one base in each galaxy. Plus in Euclid, I have like 11 bases still. That number is I used to have like 19 bases in Euclid, 19 or 20. But as I go to these other galaxies and I set up a base there and I find, a resource that I had duplicated in Euclid, then I get rid of the Euclid base. I've been deleting them. Well, come to find out, even though it looks like you deleted a base, evidently you really don't delete bases. That's not a thing. You get your resources back and you think it's deleted, but then one day, maybe weeks later, in my case, it happened yesterday, I went to the terminus and I looked at the terminus, and I haven't had favorites for a while now, so I don't even bother with favorites anymore because it's just useless. And space stations is becoming to be kind of the same thing, kind of useless for me in the terminus. I don't know. Anyway, but then I clicked on other bases. These other bases are bases I've deleted. And I messaged them at the Zendesk, and I think they removed some of them, but like this one and this one, yesterday seemed to be gone, but today they seem to be back again. And then these three showed up. These are all bases I deleted. And then what the problem is now, that was the first base I ever had when I started the game, that one there. The problem is when I go to them now, I'll show you. I deleted them. And I swear they were gone and they disappeared. And I think I even got resources back. But then they reappeared. And evidently now I'm just a guest. I can't do anything. And I don't want to keep bothering them and telling them, the hard workers that work on the game, hey, this base I deleted is back, and since I can only have so many bases in Terminus, I sure would appreciate this base not being there since I deleted it. But evidently, in No Man's Sky, bases are like a marriage, till death do you part. See, logged in as guest. Base operational, base controls limited. Construction permissions unavailable. It says here I can report this base as offensive or inappropriate. And then if I do that, it even says it'll hide the base from my list. But then it wants me to take a picture about what's offensive or inappropriate. Well, but I can't take a picture of this screen. It won't, see, if I push one, see, it says report offensive or inappropriate base. Please take a screenshot showing the offensive or inappropriate material so that it can be moderated. And I hit continue, and it's telling me to take a screenshot, but I can't take a screenshot of the thing telling me I'm a guest. Anyway, doesn't make any sense. So I just cancel it. So I don't want to keep bothering the people. I mean, I guess I'm going to stop deleting bases because evidently you don't really delete them anyway. You, even though they appear to be deleted and you get resources back, at some point they return. Kind of like a bad marriage that you can't never get out of. You're kind of like being stalked by an ex that won't leave you alone. So anyway, so as if it isn't bad enough that the terminus only allows you so many bases, you can't never, evidently you can't really never delete a base. That they continue to return. So the scenario that, we can only have 50 to 70 travel points in the terminus. And now we can add to that you can delete a base once you create one. So as I go to these new galaxies, and I guess it doesn't matter, if I discover, I was trying to be a responsible No Man's Sky citizen. and delete bases that, I mean, when I go to a new base and I create a new base in another galaxy and that base has cobalt available to me there, then it stands to reason I would delete the base in Euclid I have that creates cobalt for me, because I have a new base that does that now. And I need that new base in that new galaxy because that's my travel point in that galaxy. So I don't know. It's we'll see, and the journey continues. I'm still exploring discovering new galaxies. I decided my goal now is because yesterday I went from galaxy number 3 to galaxy number 4. And, I started thinking about it. And I said, no, you know what, I'm going to go back. Then I went, it actually did 2 yesterday. I went from galaxy number 10 to galaxy number 11. Because, this game is all about, we keep hearing about the number 16 in the game, right? And there's 16 glyphs in the game. So I said, oh, you know what? I'm going to go to galaxy number 16 and see if something's going on different or special or whatever in galaxy number 16. So that's my immediate goal right now, is to get to galaxy number 16. Yesterday I went from 10 to 11. Later today I'll probably go from 11 to 12, and if I feel like it, I might even go from 12 to 13 later today. We'll see. But I'm just I don't want to keep bothering the good people at that Hello Games to clean up my base deletions. Because I had 3 more show up today. I had 4 yesterday that I actually contacted them about. And I was surprised because, it seemed like within within hours later, after I sent them the message, it seemed like they were gone. But then I go back there today, and it seemed like two of them are back again. Cause let's see, other bases. Yeah, these two. Yesterday they were gone. Hours after I sent them the email about it, there was four of them. Two of them are still gone. But two of them seem to disappear and come back again. They came back again. So, if you're wondering, when I first started playing the game, that was my initial name. But because I started on Xbox. I play on a PC, but it was through Microsoft Xbox when I first bought the game for like $60 or whatever. And then in order to have multiplayer, I had to pay them like an extra $10 a month or whatever to have multiplayer. And to be quite frank, their service sucked. For charging premium prices, they did not offer a premium service. So when I went to Steam, I left Xbox. I shut down my $10 a month extra fee just to have multiplayer. I went to Steam and I had to buy the game again. Luckily, it was on sale for $24 or whatever it was. And I don't have to pay them a monthly fee to have a multiplayer. And the services, no more crashes. I mean, I was having crashes with Xbox. I was experiencing off and on lag. And it was very sad for charging more money than Steam does. Their service sucks, to be quite frank. So, yeah, stay away from Xbox. Their gaming services is not up to par. Steam is far superior to Xbox. So, I've been on Steam ever since, and I changed my name when I did that. When I came over to Steam, I took on the Spacer Cowboy name. And because the Pilot Tom comes from years ago when I got Flight Simulator, which I got from Microsoft. And then when I first, I don't think Xbox even existed back then when I got the first Flight Simulator. But anyway, and I just kind of stuck with them. When they came out with the new Flight Simulator, I got the new Flight Simulator. Anyway, no more Xbox for me. I went over to Steam. I'm quite happy with their service. It's far superior to Xbox. So if anyone out there is trying to decide who to use, I recommend you use Steam. It's a much better. So even when the upgrades came out for the game, like when they came out with this most recent update for the game, it was like 2 or 3 days before Xbox even applied the update, before it was even available. With Steam, it's like immediate. It's like the same day it's announced, it's available on Steam. So Steam is a lot better service. Anyway, so I'm not going to keep bothering the good people at Hello Games to clean up my base deletions. I'm just going to leave them alone, and I'm just going to be a guest and not have any control over them, and they're just going to sit there and in the other bases area. I guess that's the way it works. and I guess they take up spaces, which makes the problem with limited terminus travel locations. It compounds the problem. If you can't even delete bases, try to be a responsible citizen. And you can't even do that. That's the only problem about this game is the whole terminus thing sucks. It really does. I wish they would do something about it. I kind of wish they would just. Terminus is fine and great. Portals are fine and great, but if they're not going to fix the terminus, I really think they should move the whole travel stuff over to the Discoveries area, since it seems like they got half the job done. They already got everything listed, every place you've ever been. I'll just be able to travel from there. Anyway, yeah, frustrating. I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated with this whole terminus thing, the travel thing. And as I go to more, I just know I'm gonna hit that big tall wall where it's gonna say no more bases, and then that'll probably be the end of my days with No Man's Sky when that happens. Which is kind of sad because I kind of like the game. But if I can't travel, you tell me you got 255 galaxies, but then on one hand, and then you tell me I'm only going to be able to travel to 50 to 70 of them on the regular established bases. We'll see. I haven't proved that yet, but I will. It's just a matter of time. Just a matter of time here before we see if that's the truth. And I'll document it here on YouTube for the world to know. Because I've seen it on Google, and I've seen people saying that that's the case, that they have a bunch of bases, but I've never seen a video. I've never seen a video that actually proves it. I've just seen basically hearsay, people say. So I'm gonna make videos, and I'm gonna show everybody. Here's what it's doing. Hard, cold facts. I currently have 20 bases, and that I'm actually using and actively traveling to, and then I have these 5 here that I have deleted in the past, but they don't. And these two, and 4 that, including these 2, that I contacted the Zendesk about, and 2 of them are gone now. But then I had these 3 up here at the top show up today. Those were my most recent deletions. Maybe about a week ago I deleted those. And all of a sudden they're back on the scene again. But when I go to them, I'm just a guest. And I have no control over what's going on at those locations. So I guess that means I got 25 bases, even though 5 of them are bases that I have previously deleted. And the story continues. I'll be making more videos. Y'all Be sure and have fun in the stars. We'll see you next time.